Yeah. Are you gonna fix up the cord mess? Okay, the mic's in. We're good.
Cord mess. Well, we only have one headset tonight.
Oh, it's only you?
Yeah.
Okay, you're good then.
Unless you want to join. Why don't you do it?
Nope, I'm going home. I have studying to do.
Oh, he's got study. Hey, I just realized if I get like a minimum 50% of my stats quiz, I still have a D. Or a C. For my test.
Do you need C in the class or D in the class?
Do I need it? Well, I don't know what I need.
I think you need a C. You need to hold a
Easy.
C.
Easy.
Actually?
Yeah. I gotta fail the test. Fail the final and get a C.
Okay, alright. Okay,
How you guys doing your live show?
yeah, we're doing.
Yeah, they. So the one headset's plugged in, and that's this one.
Yeah, you're good. Alright, okay.
All right. Thanks, bud.
Get my creativity, my Luke story, and head out.
Dude, when are you gonna hop back on the broadcast? First of all, what do you want to do next? Like,
Do next year's what? What do you mean? What do you mean by that?
test, 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 test. Testing, testing.
Show him his face when you're thinking, huh? You can call angry. Yeah, one of our lenses got broken, so we're stuck with like a super zoomed lens. We're not
That's
very happy
right,
with
and
that.
that basket was good too, huh? That basket.
Because now it's just all over the place.
Testing, testing. Testing, testing.
Oh man.
Alright. Yeah. No. Yeah, it's real. I know.
Testing, testing.
I think you're live, by the way.
All right, everyone, welcome in to Oak Ridge High School for tonight's senior night matchup between the Rocklin Thunder and your Oak Ridge Trojans. We are still well into warm-ups here, but there's going to be a senior night presentation coming your way, followed by the visiting roster and the starting lineups, and then it'll be tip-off here at Oak Ridge High School. So stay tuned for all of this senior night festivities, and we'll be back in just a few minutes. Thanks for tuning in here free on YouTube, Trojan Pride Sports Marketing. Next year, Christian plans on attending Northern Arizona University and majoring in business management. Thank you, Winston and Christian. Next up, we have number 17, Zach Warner. Zach is escorted tonight by his mom, Jill. Zach is a 4-year varsity player and is an outside hitter. After high school, Zach plans on attending the University of Oregon. Thank you, Zach. So thanks everyone for tuning in as we conclude the senior night festivities here at Oak Ridge High School for the 10 seniors. And there will be a 4 more minute warm-up period here for both teams, and then we'll get into introductions and finally tip-off here from the Trojan Arena. So thanks for tuning in. Rocklin Oak Ridge next. And everyone finally welcome into Trojan Arena as we get settled for the start of this match between the Thunder and the Trojans, and we're off here at Oak Ridge High School. First play of the ball game. Senior night here at Oak Ridge, and it'll be an Oak Ridge point to start things off. So the final game of league play for this 2022 season. And it'll be one of the two Long brothers, Winston, getting the nod for the serve, and that'll be off of Lerner. It'll be a Thunder point. Server for Rocklin is Cole Rabe. And a nice save by Ogden, but Rocklin with a little bit of miscommunication there at the end. Trojans up 2-1. Rocklin coming into this contest with an 8-13 record. As Gillingham now with the serve. Rocklin set up Ray, but a nice smack down by Dwyer and Lerner up front, the two tall football players. Multiple sport athletes. Gillingham once again. And the set by Rabe, and Slinger now gets in the action, and Oak Ridge extends their lead to 4-1. Thunder 2-5 in league play. Gillingham with a short serve, and it'll fall in there for an Oak Ridge point. So a little bit of magic by the white and black. Trojans sporting those uniforms tonight, the Rocklin Thunder in blue. Gillingham short once again. Thunder there to prepare, but Dwyer hits it to the right spot, the back middle of the court, and it'll fall in. So Gillingham will serve once again. Oak Ridge adds another point on top. 6-1 Trojans. And an aggressive hit from Gamble, and that one will be too long from Cole Rabe. So right off the bat, Oak Ridge on a 6-0 run here. Gillingham with a nice save on the floor, but that one will head out of bounds, and Rocklin finally breaks the curse here. It'll be 7-2. Carver Norzer back to serve now for the Thunder. Gillingham sets it to Marquez. Marquez flips it over the opposite side of the court, gets it to fall, and a nice play from the senior Marquez. So 10 seniors on this Oak Ridge Ball Club tonight. Marquez, one of them now getting the nod to serve, and that one will head off to the right. Last touch by Rabe. Oak Ridge up 9-2 to start things off in the first set. And that one's off at Rabe once again. So Rocklin having a little bit of trouble to start this matchup off so far. Oak Ridge just a step ahead. And really a couple of tall players up front at the net in Dwyer and Lerner. Gamble over. Gillingham had the intended target, Lerner, to set up, but went out of bounds, and Rocklin will get the point. So thanks for joining us here, free on YouTube, Trojan Pride Sports Marketing. This is our sports broadcasting team. First of 4 broadcasts this week. So we've got a lot of games on the way, and that will stay in play It was off of Rabe, who tried to set it to a teammate, went off the speaker. And of course, in this gym, if it does hit the speaker or the ceiling, it is still a live ball. But Rocklin was unable to regather there. So Oak Ridge will go up 11-3. And now Christian Long into the ball game for the Trojans will get the serve. Long, a long-time baseball player. I actually played baseball with him back in AAA. And the Trojans will get the point as they extend their lead to 9. So Oak Ridge has been the dominant team to start this one off. And Christian, a senior. Ragu Perrin with the setup. Now Lerner over the net. That's some spin on that ball, and that'll be a Trojan point. And a much-needed timeout from the Rocklin Thunder as Oak Ridge takes a double-digit lead. It's 13-3 here in the first set. We'll be back in just a minute. So after the timeout, Oak Ridge up 13-3. Off to a fast start here in the first set. Trojans with a 13-7 record so far this season. So Christian Long will be the one to serve, and a high-flying Gamble comes in, hits the front of the net. And Dwyer will come in for Long. Or they'll both exit. So Gamble with the serve. Gillingham sets up Lerner. Lerner. Gamble once again. Gamble's been the player of the game for Rocklin so far. Something to keep an eye on. And Rocklin gets another point. 8-point lead for the Trojans. Gillingham to Lerner. Let's see what happens now, and it'll be another Rocklin point. I believe Lerner hit the net. So Gamble, once again, 7-point deficit for the Thunder. Lerner this time just has to get it over the net. And Rocklin sets up the outside Cole Rabe. So now Rocklin on a 4-0 run since the timeout. And the momentum has switched just a little bit as Gamble will serve once again. Marquez and Long, a little bit of miscommunication. Lerner high flying, and Norzer and Gamble run into each other. That'll be an Oak Ridge point. And now Jake Slinger, another senior, on the serve. Gamble off the ceiling. Rocklin just has to get it over. That's Haney. And now Gillingham, the fake by Long. Lerner gets it over. Gillingham with a little sneaky shove over the net. And Oak Ridge up 15-7 after Rocklin goes on a 4-0 run following the conclusion of the timeout. Ragu Perrin sets up Mills. Now Lerner, and a nice stop by Josh Mills. So Mills was the one on that possession as Rocklin now finds themselves down 7. And it'll be Braden Haney to serve. These two teams played each other back on March 30th. Rocklin lost to Oak Ridge 3-1, and that's a nice point by the Trojans as Lerner will exit for Vogan. So these two teams being in the same league are a bit familiar with each other. Yagluperin sets up Rabe, and nice save by Marquez. But Oak Ridge unable to retrieve it. And now Walker and Ogden will come into the ball game for Mills and Raghuparan. Ogden will be on the serve. 16-9 to score. Marquez comes in and off the hands of Norzer. Marquez, one of the top players on this Oak Ridge squad. And now Winston Long will be the one to serve. Trojans up by 8. And off the wrong part of the hand from Walker, a junior for this Thunder ball team. So for those of you that don't know, it's a best-of-5 game as Marquez went for the high fake smack and tried to set it over, but failed to do so as it hit the front of the net. And it's a score of 18-10. But it's a best-of-5 series. First one to 25 wins. Got to win by 2. Marquez over. Nice dive by Ogden. Gamble to the opposite side of the floor. Gillingham tosses it over. Ogden once again on the save. And that one is off of Schumacher, so Rocklin will get the point. Rocklin hanging in there after looking a little lost before their timeout. Marquez, and that one will fall in for a Trojan point. Oak Ridge has won 3 of their last 4 coming into this one. Slinger will substitute back in for Schumacher. The high flying gamble, and it's off of Long, went out of bounds to the left. So 19-12, the score here in Trojan Arena. Gillingham sets up Marquez. Ogden. Back to Norzer. And now Rabe. Slinger just has to get it over. Gamble once again. And Gamble just over the line. So Oak Ridge with the point there, a nice rally from both teams. Rocklin seems to find their consistency just a little bit. Hanging in there, down 6. And Coach Mertz probably happy to see that, and this will be a Rocklin point. I believe somebody on Oak Ridge touched the net. Gillingham sets up Dwyer, and that'll fall into the Rocklin zone. Oak Ridge now 5 points away from securing their first set win. And a nice play by Moses Gamble of the Thunder, using his athleticism to keep that one on the other side. And he's been fun to watch so far for the white and blue. Gillingham to Vogan, and that one will be a Trojan point. Oak Ridge 21-15. Oak Ridge 6-2 in league play this season. Rocklin quite the opposite at 2-5, but looking strong here after their first time out and hanging in there with this competitive Trojan team filled with 10 seniors, as Long was unsuccessful on the dive there to save it. But if you look at this Rocklin roster, only 2 seniors on their shorthanded player list, and Oak Ridge at 10 seniors, and obviously a much more expanded roster. And that'll be Ian Long. Falls in front of Gamble. And Gamble, one of the 2 seniors for the Thunder. Been the leader out there on the court. Rabe on the outside, and that one will fall. So Oak Ridge now just 2 points away from leading things off here with a first set W. And Rabe was short, all he could do there. So 24-16, Trojans up by 8. And they have not lost a set in 3 games. Slinger short on that one. Last week, the Trojans were able to sweep both Del Oro and Whitney 3-0. So they're trying to continue that streak tonight, not losing a set in quite a while. Some impressive stuff from this Trojans ball club. And 1 point away from yet another set win. Marquez to Gillingham. Gillingham steps up Long, and Long will smack it over in front of Gamble. Trojans take the first set, 25-17, your score. Thanks for tuning in. Here free on YouTube, Trojan Pride Sports Marketing. We'll be back in just a couple of seconds. Oak Ridge up by 1. Welcome back to Oak Ridge High School. Trojans took the first set, 25-17, and we're getting ready to start the second set of action here from the Trojan Arena. And be sure to tune in to our baseball broadcast tomorrow at 4 p.m. We'll be live out on the diamond for an Oak Ridge Folsom matchup. And today's game, Folsom actually beat the Trojans 7-5. So tomorrow Oak Ridge will try and come back, tie the series at 1. And right off the bat here, Oak Ridge will get the point. Rocklin unable to get it over. Too many touches on their end. Long with the serve. And Gamble gets it over. Gillingham sets up Dwyer. Couldn't exactly time it right. And Rocklin will tie it at 1. So like I just mentioned, baseball tomorrow at 4. Wednesday we'll be out at the stadium for track and field senior night, and that one just long off of Rabe. Track and field 3:30 on Wednesday for their senior night. And then we'll finish up the week with first off, with an aggressive hit from Gamble. And it'll be 2-2, the score here in the second set. Our TPSM broadcast famous golf stream, our second ever, is back this Thursday. We had one in October for the women's team, and now the men's team this coming Thursday at 3:30 p.m. It'll be a match between Oak Ridge and Folsom, both teams playing 9 holes. Marquez tried to slip it in there, a nice save by Walker. Gamble using his strong power to deflect it off of Winston Long, and Rocklin with their first lead of any set tonight, 3-2. Some giveaways to happen in that golf broadcast, and Winston Long cannot catch a break right now. Rocklin extends their lead to 2. So this game started about 6:30 tonight. We had senior night festivities, and of course the lineups by both of the teams tonight. That one's off of Haney. And 2 warm-up sessions as well. So quite the pregame festivities here inside the arena, but we're underway now in the second set. Trojans took the first, and Rocklin now up 4-3. Marquez back to serve for the Trojans. Dwyer. The back hitter, Ray, but Rocklin couldn't scoop it up front. And the Trojans come back to tie it at 4. Coach Port, Coach Larson. The Oak Ridge coaches. Gamble once again, and that was a smart play and high IQ play from Gamble. So Moses Gamble has the power, but can also play mind games on you and drop it in there up front. Mills and Ragu Perrin will come back into the ball game. Ogden and Reuben Walker will exit. And Mills on the outside tried to get it over, but Lerner there to deflect it, and Oak Ridge will tie it at 5. So back and forth action here in the second set. Both teams seem to find their rhythm a little bit. Ragu Perrin set up Mills. It'll be too strong. And Oak Ridge with yet another point, up 6-5 after falling behind by 2 to Rocklin. Be sure to follow at Trojan Pride 80 on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook to keep up with all things sports and all of our upcoming broadcasts here at Oak Ridge High School. Once again, at Trojan Pride 80. And you can see all of the Oak Ridge JV players and coaches wearing the Schumacher Strong shirt in support of the Schumacher family. Owen Schumacher, a senior tonight for the Trojans, number 1 on the bench currently. Ragaparin to the outside, Rabe. And Oak Ridge can't do much there, as the officials are laughing about what to score that one. But we're tied back up at 7. And like I said earlier, it seems like both teams right now finding each other's tendencies as they faced off against each other back on March 30th. Oak Ridge with a score of 3 and Rocklin 1, so the Trojans took the W back at the end of March. Lerner couldn't quite handle that one. Vogan will come back in. Or rather, Lerner will get that point. So 8-8, back and forth action here in the second set. Marquez, strong hit over the net. And the Trojans take the lead once again. Senior night here at Oak Ridge High School. And league play will conclude on Wednesday for both of these teams. Vogan too strong off the serve. Trojans will play at Folsom on Wednesday. And Rocklin will travel back home to play Whitney. So one more game following the action tonight, at least for the regular season. Kennedy couldn't save that one. And Slinger will be the one to serve. Or rather, to be long. Gillingham sets up Marquez, and that one slips over, so Oak Ridge on a little bit of a groove here, and it'll be a timeout by Rocklin, their second of the ball game. Oak Ridge up by 2. It's 11-9. We'll be back in just a couple minutes. Back here at Oak Ridge High School, Oak Ridge up 11-9, and now 12. So right off the bat, Rocklin couldn't quite handle it. So Oak Ridge up by 3. It's been a back and forth second set here after the first set where Rocklin really fell behind and Oak Ridge went on a 6-0 run. Then Rocklin called a timeout in the first set, found their groove a little bit, but Oak Ridge ultimately took the first set 25-17. And it's been pretty close here in the second set. But we find ourselves with the Trojans up by 4. It's 13-9, Long with the serve. And that one just not enough to get over by Rabe. So Oak Ridge extends their lead to 5. So last week, the Thunder fell to Granite Bay 3-1. And we'll see how they fare the rest of tonight. Gamble at the back. Got it over Gillingham with the save, and he's going all out with the effort tonight. Rocklin will get the point. Marquez on the far side. And Marquez once again after saving it on his knees. And Gamble just short there, couldn't quite reach it over the net. And Marquez will get that point. So 15-11, not sure if I'm seeing things, but there's been a couple instances where I've called it the other team's point, but it'll be 15-11 Oak Ridge on top. One-man crew tonight on the headset. Nico Horning here with you and the rest of our broadcast team. Oak Ridge able to save it, just has to get it over. Gamble goes for the far corner and is successful, so that's one of the plays of the game tonight, brought to you by TPSM. Moses Gamble, been the standout player in the blue and white, and also a vocal leader, sporting number 5. Gillingham sets up Slinger, and that'll be a Trojan point. Making this broadcast possible, Samantha He, Quentin Reynolds, Mateo Reynolds, and Enzo Silva. The crew tonight, a 5-man broadcast for you. We have Enzo and Mateo up on the camera, Samantha on the scoreboard, and Quentin with the pre-game entertainment. That one will be off of Josh Mills. Long will enter back in for Winston Long. Or I should say Christian will come back in for his twin brother Winston. And Christian with the serve. Off the speaker. The ball will stay playable. Gamble on the outside. Gamble once again. And that one will stay in. So Gamble leading his team, and now Rocklin finds themselves down by only 2. We had 5 broadcasts last week and another 4 this week. And a Rocklin point there. So they are just down by 1. And tomorrow night it'll be Charlie Limoncelli and myself on the call for League Baseball against Folsom tomorrow at 4 p.m. Gillingham sets up long, keeps it in the back line. And Oak Ridge up 18-15. So once again, it's a best-of-5 series here for high school volleyball. And the first team to 25 will win that set. Have to win by 2. Oak Ridge took the first set 25-17. And Slinger, a little slippery there, could not get it over, and his dad scratches his head there on the far corner, one of the assistant principals here at Oak Ridge. Vogan now to serve for the Trojans here. Just a couple seconds. 19-17 your score. Vogan will be heading to the University of Montana, studying business administration. And a Rocklin point right there. Ogden on the serve for the Thunder. And that had to be the hardest hit of the night by Long. Oak Ridge up by 2 once again, 22-18. You can find all of our broadcasts this year on this very own YouTube account, Trojan Pride Sports Marketing. Our goal to hit every sport at least once. The high-flying gamble comes in, but he'll be unsuccessful. Oak Ridge gets the point. Or rather, Rocklin gets the point. Gillingham went right at Gamble, and now Marquez sneaks it over for the Trojans. 21-19. Oak Ridge trying to grind this one out. And a sign there on the far bleachers, Jack is my Superman, and Gillingham with the serve. Now set up Long over to Slinger. Gamble to Marquez. Marquez once again. Back and forth here. And Gamble comes in. Winston Long unable to save it. And it's 21-20. Very close game here in the second set. And Coach Mertz of the Thunder has to be pretty happy about the way his team's played here and competed. And now Rocklin unable to do anything about that one. Marquez just found a perfect place on the floor to drop it in. And Oak Ridge goes up by 2 once again. Vogan out, Lerner in. Marquez heading to Santa Clara University. Gamble to Long once again, so seems as if Gamble is going to continue going at the libero Winston Long, because Winston has not been able to handle the power and velocity from Moses Gamble. And the senior Gamble able to really keep Rocklin in this ballgame. If it wasn't for him, I don't know where this team would be with his vocal leadership and physical leadership as well. Long and Christian in for Winston. And Sean Dwyer will exit. So we have a fair share of last names here with Long, Winston, Christian, and Ian. Christian and Winston being the twins. However, Ian Long unrelatable to the twins. Rocklin goes down by 3. Oak Ridge trying to win the second set right here. It's 24-21. So that'll be Christian Long with the serve. And the Trojans will take set number 2. Braden Haney unable to retrieve that one. Went off the wrong part of his 2 hands. Went to the back of the court. And Oak Ridge finds themselves up 2-0 once again. Not losing a set in 3 games so far. Swept Del Oro and Whitney 3-0 last week. Trying to continue that tonight, and they have done so thus far. So we are currently in intermission between the second and third sets. Once again, tomorrow night, we'll be live for our baseball broadcast at 4 p.m. as Oak Ridge tries to tie the series at 1 against the Bulldogs. And then on Wednesday, we'll be out at the track for our first ever track and field broadcast at 3:30 p.m. That'll be a long one, lasting a few hours. So we'll have some content for you, some guest interviews. And finally, to wrap up the week, Thursday will be men's golf. We're back for another golf broadcast, 3:30 p.m. on Thursday at Serrano. And if you have a graduating senior, we will be live streaming graduation on May 27th, Friday night at 7 p.m. Our juniors will be taking care of that one. Charlie Limoncelli, Brian Sanjorzon, and Mikey Jansen will have you covered for the graduation ceremony on May 27th. So that link can be found on the YouTube channel. It's already made, and all the rest of the broadcasts this year are pre-made on this channel. Trojan Pride Sports Marketing. We'll be back in just a minute. Oak Ridge up 2-0. And welcome to set number 3. Oak Ridge trying to keep the momentum going and sweep yet another team in this Sierra Foothill League. Trying to sweep Rocklin tonight. It's 2-0 Oak Ridge. And all seniors on the floor right now for the Trojans. Ray be able to get it over Gillingham. Couldn't set it cleanly. And Rocklin will start this set off with a 1-0 lead. Marquez. that one will fall short for Moses Gamble. Gamble has been the standout player in this game. Even though Rocklin is down 2-0, he has shown his heart out tonight with his athleticism and vocal leadership as well. So quite the leader for this Rocklin Ball Club. Winston Long with the serve, and he'll be short. And at times it's been a Gamble versus Winston Long contest. And Gamble has won most. Dwyer now falls in front of Rabe. And the Trojans will go up 3-2. Samantha He, Quentin Reynolds, Mateo Reynolds, Enzo Silva. The broadcast crew tonight, I'm Nico Horning. Gillingham with the serve. Off the ceiling, it'll stay in play. Lerner gets it over. And the ball is falling where Rocklin players are not. It's been the census of the game tonight. Gillingham, also a star basketball player this past season, knocking down some clutch threes and keeping Oak Ridge in ball games at times. Really finding his game throughout the season. Just got better day by day. Had the chance to interview him, Ian Long, and Nick Graves from men's basketball last Friday. And that one will be coming out soon on Trojan Pride 80, so stay tuned for that conversation between Gillingham, Long, and Graves. And looking forward to doing a couple more before the school year ends. We'll have women's basketball. Tegan Brown and Ella Ray, two seniors from that team, after their remarkable run, heading down to Golden One Center, winning the Sac Joaquin Section Championship against the rival Folsom Bulldogs. They had played Folsom 3 times before that 4th matchup. And Oak Ridge won on a missed 3-point game-winning shot by Folsom. And that was a extremely fun game. And of course, women's soccer will have some seniors for an interview before the end of the school year. Lots of standout players on that team, so we'll have to see how we're going to decipher that one. Rocklin with the point there, down by 1. It's a 6-5 ball game. But we talk about on most broadcasts here, because we usually have different audiences for each sport based on that team, that women's sports have been the driving force of Oak Ridge athletics this school year. As Gamble had it smacked away by Dwyer, but that one will go over the Rocklin bench. Had a chance to write an article about a month or so ago explaining the women's sports and the importance that they've had to this school and the community for their talents this year. And also women's volleyball started it off back in the fall in this very gym. It was packed, and they went all the way to the NorCal Regionals, where they lost to Hillsdale here at home. The Fighting Knights beat Oak Ridge 3-0. Luke Stewart on the call for that one. And really progressing his play style and play-by-play enthusiasm and rhythm throughout the season. And a big shout out to Luke Stewart. That'll be an Oak Ridge point. You can follow Luke on Creativity by Luke on Instagram. Find some of his highlights back in November. We also went down for the section championship at Natomas High School. Lerner Gamble with the save. And a whistle will be blown early. And the point going in the favor of the Trojans. 9-7. NBA playoffs underway. Warriors fell to Denver yesterday after Curry and the Warriors tied it up a couple times in the final couple of minutes. Oak Ridge with the point once again, 10-7. But the Warriors still with a 3-1 lead as they come back to San Francisco for the game tomorrow. Gamble couldn't quite handle that one, in an awkward position. Trojans up 11-7. That'll be a Rocklin point. I believe Long touched the net there. Long also a center for men's basketball. Ian Long, number 25 there on the far end. Lerner on the outside and try to hit the scores table. Boston beat the Brooklyn Nets tonight, 116-112. So Brooklyn will be heading to Cancun after many thought that they'd be the team to beat this year, but they just got swept by the Boston Celtics, and despite them getting swept, I thought that was an extremely fun series. Starting off with that Jason Tatum layup buzzer beater with 0.3 seconds to go. Back in game one. The Boston crowd went nuts. And so did I back at home, even though I'm not a Celtics fan. Mills will come back into the ball game for Ragu Perrin. Rocklin got the point there, 13-9. Oak Ridge is up. Trojans trying to close things out here with a 3-0 sweep. We'll see if they can do so. As Marquez will secure the point for the Trojans. Ian Long back to serve. Toronto beat Philadelphia tonight, 103-88. And Toronto will go up 3-2, or rather Philly will remain in the lead, but Toronto cut the deficit 3-2. Off of Rabe. Well, you got to credit this Thunder team tonight. They've really stuck around with the competitive energy of the Trojans and the veteran leadership that Oak Ridge has to offer. Rocklin short once again. Rabe unsuccessful. Shout out to the dad zone there at the top of the bleachers, brought to you by the El Dorado Saloon. All the dads of the Trojans team here has become a thing throughout this season. And Oak Ridge will be issued the point after Mills was too strong on the outside. And a timeout will be called. Oak Ridge up 17-9. Looking to close the game out here. Giants won 4-2 today. Jock Peterson, another homer, had two yesterday and another one today. So there is your sports wrap-up of the day. Oak Ridge up 17-9 as they try and win this third set. Thanks for tuning in here. Free on YouTube, Trojan Pride Sports Marketing. And look who just showed up. It's Reed McIntosh. McIntosh, a senior. Oh, but he's not on this volleyball team. McIntosh on the team last year, doing all the graphics for the team, though, this year. And he actually had the best save percentage on the team last season. 1,000. A 1-for-1 save record by Mr. McIntosh. He's going to join us here in just a minute. Oak Ridge, in all likelihood, is going to sweep Rocklin tonight, just like they did with Del Oro and Whitney last week. So all signs up for the Trojans. Brave unsuccessful. And that'll be a Rocklin point, an early whistle from the officials in blue. Reed McIntosh has been a key part of this team this year with all of the technical side of things, some videoing, some editing, doing all the graphics for the broadcasts during this 2021-22 school year. Oak Ridge only 4 points away from securing a win. They're up by double digits. Marquez shoves it over. Gamble aggressively on the other side. Gamble. And that'll be a Rocklin point. This broadcast will also be available on demand right here on the same link, so feel free to share it out to family and friends who could not join us today. Slinger on the outside. And Rocklin finds themselves on a little bit of a run here, trying to string together a couple points, and they've done so. That was Carver Norzer on the serve. Hit the front of the net. So once again, all seniors on the floor right now for the Trojans. And that one will be too strong, out of bounds, off of Braden Haney, a freshman for this Thunder team. Trojans 2 point away from victory. Ogden set up Gamble, and Gamble destroys it over the net. And the Oak Ridge bench yelling scoreboard, but you got to give it up to Moses Gamble tonight. He has been the heart and soul of this Rocklin Thunder team. Gillingham setting up Slinger, and that'll be off of Gamble. So now the Trojans up by 11, 24 to 13. The seniors will finish it off here on the court. Christian Long, Alex Marquez, Gillingham, Lerner, Ian Long, and Slinger. Christian Long with the serve. Rocklin, Ragubaran set up Gamble, and that one will stay in. So Gamble says not so fast for Rocklin. Oak Ridge 1 point away from a victory. Mr. McIntosh sets himself up here to join the broadcast. Gamble with the serve. And Oak Ridge could not track that one down. Gamble. Out of bounds, and the Trojans will sweep Rocklin here 3-0 on this Monday evening senior night here at Oak Ridge High School.
Great victory by Oak Ridge there. Just put in the pressure on Rocklin, a really good team. Also in the division, 3-0. Looks good for them going into playoffs.
Reed McIntosh joining us here tonight. Reed, thank you for those encouraging words. And Oak Ridge winning the final set 25-15. And they sweep for the third game in a row. And sets themselves up for the final league game of the season on Wednesday at Folsom. So that does it. Thanks everyone for joining us here, free on YouTube, Trojan Pride Sports Marketing. From our TPSM Sports Broadcasting team, Quentin Reynolds, Samantha Mateo Reynolds, Enzo Silva, and Reed McIntosh. I'm Nico Horning, saying good night from Oak Ridge High School. We'll be live tomorrow at the Baseball Diamond at 4 o'clock. We'll see you then, everybody.